Okay, I'm still messing about my CIS. As you remember last time we adjusted the pressure underneath, it seemed it's gradually getting better each time I do it. This morning it was pretty cold this morning. I kind of have to leave. I really like to leave it till it's been left 24 hours and it's a cold morning, so I can get a good idea what it's doing. It sort of started up and sort of started fine, and then it coughed and bogged down for a couple of minutes, and then it was kind of a little bit lumpy but not bad, better than it has been before. And like I say, when I tested it before, the low control, the cold control pressure was like 13, 14, which I think more read. Some people are saying it should be 0 to whatever, but a lot of people are saying like 20 odd. So I think, and it does seem to sort of not run kind of lumpy this morning for like a couple of minutes, and then it was almost like you could hear it sort of starting to lean itself off. So I'm wondering if the sort of setting of this, which is where the bimetallic tip structures, and that's the pivot for the bimetallic strip, I'm wondering if the two are out of sync, and you can kind of mess about with the both. I have moved that slightly, it's back to where it was, but I did move it slightly. And the new diaphragm affects it all. So the sort of warm temperature is okay, warm control pressure is okay, cold control pressure is a little bit low. So you can do with this mod here, which I've done. So that's the stud that the bimetallic strip fixed to. There was an indent right in the middle of it, so I drilled that sort of 3mm, then 5mm, and then tapped it to M6. So that's an M6 bolt with a washer. So the idea is you sort of just hold this and wind the nut down, and it pulls the stud up. You can see there I've marked the stud, so it doesn't so I can see if it's turned. It shouldn't do really. Some people are saying drill it again and put a pin in there, but I didn't really want to get into that. As long as you hold this still and just turn that, it shouldn't move really. I don't think it will. So I've pulled it up a little bit. It was quite a way down. I pulled it up a little bit, so I'm going to put it on now and sort of cool it down a bit, and then adjust the cold pressure, and then see what it does then. I think I'm just going to have to play about with it, see what the cold pressure is at then, and then see what the hot pressure goes to, see if it affects the hot pressure a lot. So that's sort of the next job. Yeah, I think it's just a case of getting the best, because obviously if you raise the cold control pressure, it will raise the warm control pressure. But I've sort of set that at the warm control at 46, and it should, it can be sort of up to 55, I think. So if I raise that, and that comes up to 20 odd, and that comes up to sort of around 50, just over 50 or 50, we might still be okay. I mean, it goes like stink now. It goes really, really well now. Obviously, I've got to mess about with the mixture, which does affect it slightly, but I don't think it affects the control pressures much. So the mixture is going to be a thing to do. Once I've got the control pressures within range, then I'm going to tweak the mixture. But you can kind of hear the mixture when it's not right. If it's too rich, it is sort of coughing and missing a little bit. And then when it's too weak, it does kind of similar. When it's about right, it does like, you can hear the engine sort of just start to purr. Just sounds nice. So I'm probably going to set it at that and then see what it does on the emission tester. But yeah, quite an easy mod to do. A lot of people are saying, oh, just tap it down, but apparently you can knacker the ceramic insulation that's around the bimetallic strip, somebody was saying on the internet. So I think what I'm intending to do, if I've pulled that up too much or want to push it down, I think it's up to raise the pressure, and down to lower it. If I want to lower it, I should just put a G-clamp on here. Put a flat piece of plate on there and a G-clamp. Well, one of these G-clamps, the smallest one I've got. And just wind it down and push it back in. And like I say, I've made that mark, which you can see that mark there, just in front of the number 1. So if it's moved at all or twisted, I'll be able to see. Figure that's fine. If you pull it all the way up and then drill it in between the gap between the two, and then you push a dowel in, I can understand that why you would do that, but if the dial doesn't work, you can end up having a bit of a gap or whatever. So I decided not to do that. This nut here is a nice flange nut, but what I've done, the flange nuts, I'll show you a flange nut. Where is it? Where's the flange? Nice flange nuts. I can't find one now. Yeah, the flange nut's got sort of a serrated gripping bit on the bottom, which obviously you don't really want. You want it to slide against there. So I filed the bottom of this nut, got rid of those serrated bits for the flange nut. So as it is, you just wind that down, and you hold that still, wind that, it pulls it up, and then you can grip it down to lower it. And of course, you've already seen we've done the adjustment on the hot pressure. So I think with this on, I should be able to tweak the two. See, the thing is, the hot pressure you can do when it's running, that's fine, but the hot pressure will still affect the cold pressure. So I think I'll do the cold pressure. I don't know which way round you're meant to do it. I have done it where I've done the hot pressure, but the cold pressure is not right. So I'm going to adjust the cold pressure, see what the hot pressure falls at once it's warmed up. And for that, they're both within, if that's like just over 20, 22.5, something like that, the average temperature, I think. If that's around 50, I'm just going to leave it. That's fine. So I've got a bit of leeway. So I could do with another sort of 8 or 9 or 10 psi on this one. And I can afford to take another 8 or 9, 10 psi on that one upwards. So hopefully, I think as you pull that pin up, it just pushes the bimetallic strip with a pin on the end up there, so it starts with more pressure on it. So your starting point is higher. But we'll see. I'll do another video once it's on and see if I can show you adjusting it as I do it.